This video is devoted to book history, an ever-growing interdisciplinary field that examines the history of the written word in all its forms, from clay tablets to scrolls, medieval manuscripts, hand-printed books, magazines, newspapers, and ebooks. As this brief look at student projects will illustrate, the creation, production, distribution, and reception of the written word is a field rich in history, human activity, aesthetic sensibilities, technological change, and cultural significance, as well as much, much more. In English 270, students study the evolution of the written word, from medieval manuscripts to its electronic transformations of present day. In doing so, they study the histories of authorship, reading, and publishing, as well as subfields such as censorship and literacy. What they gain in the process is an eye-opening understanding of the book in similar written forms, not only as cultural artifacts, but also cultural agents. The research projects undertaken by English 270 students represent the breadth and diversity of book history, and the ways in which this field's vibrancy stems, in part, from the dialogue it constructs between past media revolutions and our current digital age.
Today, books are printed at the touch of a few buttons, but in the past, assembly was a much more complicated process that involved skillful hands, special materials, and countless days of corrections. Medieval manuscripts are the epitome of this craft, and the Book of Kells, a large gospel book created by monks in medieval Ireland, particularly demonstrates what some consider the fine art of assembling and preparing a manuscript for viewing and treasuring pleasures over reading comprehension. To understand this art, I researched a manuscript's value in medieval times in terms of labor and cultural worth, the intricate procedure to make them, including Kells, and the emotional effect still created on readers and viewers today.
English 270 presented me with a lot of fascinating opportunities for a final project. I was especially taken with the class session held at Aurelia Press, in which we observed the intricate art of hand printing. The same attention to painstaking detail, labor, and artistic form that characterized the hand press drew me to work on constructing the publication history of Jack Kerouac's On the Road, and the ways in which the novel's editors and its public reception transformed the text beyond Kerouac's original vision.
So Lauren, after all the work of setting the type, putting the type in the press, inking up the press, we finally arrived at that moment where we can print the type. And that's what we've done.
Authorial intent is manipulated and shaped by a variety of outside sources. By its completion, a text is not simply a work of the author, but a result of a unique and collaborative process into a work of literature.
The spread of new forms of media are often perceived to be threatening by some, and comic books prove to be no different. My research on the censorship of comic books in the era known as post-war America highlighted the social, cultural, and political movements that led to the creation and implementation of the comic book codes. In examining the impact this system of censorship had on the culture of comic books and their publishing, I illustrated that the controversy surrounding the censorship of comic books demonstrates their significance as vessels of culture, ultimately proving their rightful and integral place in the study of book history.
As a future educator in the field of literature, I view keeping up with publishing trends and reading habits as necessary to teach literature in the modern age. Plus, my own interest in writing professionally means that keeping up with how the publishing industry is changing today can help me get published tomorrow. So I undertook a project that asked whether the ebook was the kiss of death or the breath of life. What my studies found is that the ebook is not transforming readers into electronic readers, but rather it's diversifying the readers into both traditional and electronic readers. The ebooks have developed a growth in readership by complementing the book.
Beth's, Dan's, Lauren's, and Chris's projects offer just a sampling of the very fine research undertaken in this course and at Westchester Center for Book History. These projects demonstrate not only the immense richness of book history, but also the ways in which this field helps us to navigate the digital transformations marking our own society. We would like to invite those across campus, as well as those in the community, to join us in research and intellectual exchange at our Center for Book History.